Hi there, and welcome to the Celeb Tea. Camille Grammer once embodied everything people imagined about Beverly Hills glamour: elegant, composed, and impossibly perfect. She was the woman in the grand mansion overlooking the Pacific, with a lifestyle most could only dream of, and a husband whose fame stretched across continents. To fans watching The Real Housewives of Beverly Hills, Camille seemed untouchable, an image of sophistication and serenity amidst the chaos of reality television. But behind that polished exterior, a storm had been brewing for years. Her world revolved around image, and images, as it turns out, are fragile things. They can shatter faster than glass when the truth starts to press against them. Camille's carefully crafted persona began to unravel through scandal, heartbreak, and loss. Her story isn't one of sudden tragedy, but of slow erosion, a perfect facade cracking under the pressure of maintaining control. In many ways, her downfall wasn't accidental. It was the inevitable consequence of a life sustained by illusion. Camille Donatacci was born in Newport Beach, California, but raised in New Jersey, far from the glitz of Hollywood. From a young age, she dreamed of escaping small-town anonymity. She wanted to be seen, admired, and remembered. That ambition fueled her journey into the entertainment world in the late 1980s, when she began dancing on MTV's Club MTV and posing for Playboy's Book of Lingerie. She also took small roles in low-budget films like Marilyn Chambers' Bedtime Stories, The Naked Detective, and Private Parts. While these roles didn't make her a household name, they did reveal something essential about her character. Camille wasn't afraid of visibility or controversy. She understood that attention, even the scandalous kind, was a form of currency in Hollywood. Through these early experiences, she learned a valuable lesson: how to construct an image. She learned how to pose, how to speak with poise, and how to project confidence even when she wasn't sure of herself. It wasn't just about performance for the camera, it was performance for life. But there's a danger in living that way. When you spend too much time perfecting the performance, the real version of yourself starts to fade. In 1997, Camille married Kelsey Grammer, already a major television star thanks to Frasier. Their union propelled her from ambitious performer to Hollywood royalty. Together, they lived an extravagant life: luxury homes in Malibu and Hawaii, lavish parties, and red carpet appearances that showcased them as the ideal power couple. They had 2 children, Mason and Jude, both born via surrogate, completing the image of perfection. Behind the scenes, however, the marriage was far from ideal. Kelsey's long-standing struggles with addiction, infidelity, and control created tension that eventually shattered their relationship. Camille would later reveal that it was Kelsey who encouraged her to join the Real Housewives of Beverly Hills, a move she described as his parting gift before leaving her. Looking back, that single decision defined her public identity for years to come. When The Real Housewives of Beverly Hills premiered in 2010, Camille appeared to have it all: beauty, wealth, and grace. To viewers, she was the epitome of refinement, the woman who could glide through chaos without smudging her lipstick. But as the season unfolded, cracks began to show. Her marriage was falling apart, and she found herself living through her most humiliating moments in front of millions of viewers. The series gave her fame and sympathy, but it also stripped her of privacy and exposed the fragility of her world. Camille maintained composure through it all, rarely breaking her poised demeanor. Her Malibu mansion, which she once described as pretty much a park, became a symbol of her self-worth: vast, manicured, and seemingly indestructible. Yet her elegance often bordered on arrogance. Viewers admired her beauty but sensed a detachment underneath. She frequently praised her own intellect and appearance in ways that made her seem aloof and disconnected from her castmates' realities. To some, she was aspirational. To others, she was condescending. Reality television thrives on authenticity, not perfection. Camille's insistence on portraying herself as flawless created emotional distance between her and the audience. She became less a person and more a portrait. Beautiful, yes, but flat and untouchable. And once viewers detect artifice, their sympathy fades quickly. Even in her most vulnerable moments, there was an underlying fragility. Her frequent references to Kelsey's success and her dependence on his status betrayed deep insecurities. Without realizing it, she had built her entire identity around being Mrs. Grammer, the glamorous wife, the devoted mother, and the socialite with the perfect home. But when that title was taken away, her entire foundation began to collapse. In 2010, the tabloids erupted with news that Kelsey Grammer had left Camille for a younger flight attendant, Kate Walsh. Within months, he was publicly engaged, leaving Camille to process the betrayal in full public view. The timing was cruel. As her marriage disintegrated, Bravo cameras kept rolling. Audiences watched her cry, confront rumors, and endure humiliation. At first, fans sympathized deeply. She seemed like a woman wronged, a devoted wife blindsided by a selfish husband. But Camille's response slowly shifted public perception. Her heartbreak mingled with bitterness, and her grace began to harden into resentment. In interviews, she spoke about her pain while also emphasizing the financial settlement she received, reportedly $30 million, half of Kelsey's fortune. What could have been a narrative of empowerment instead came across as material triumph over emotional loss. Her composure started to feel rehearsed, her elegance tinged with superiority. Audiences began to see her not as the wounded heroine, but as the emblem of Hollywood excess, graceful on the outside, calculating underneath. Divorce stripped away the identity that had defined her. Without Kelsey's shadow, she struggled to find her own. And reality television, merciless as ever, captured every stumble, every misstep, every crack in her polished surface. After the divorce, Camille's life continued to be tested in painful and unexpected ways. In 2013, she was diagnosed with stage 2 endometrial cancer, forcing her to undergo a radical hysterectomy. 4 years later, she revealed a second cancer diagnosis, this time skin cancer. These health battles exposed a side of Camille that viewers hadn't truly seen before. Beneath the polished exterior was a woman fighting for her life. She spoke candidly about her treatments, her fears, and her desire to maintain beauty and confidence even through illness. Though many admired her strength, others felt she still framed her struggles through the lens of image and perfection. Then, in 2018, tragedy struck again. The Woolsey fire tore through Malibu, destroying her home and much of what she owned. Photos of the ashes spread across the media, and for the first time, Camille appeared genuinely stripped of glamour, devastated, grieving, and vulnerable. Yet, as she began to rebuild, some critics claimed she quickly returned to old habits, posting pictures that hinted at luxury and nostalgia for her past life. The pattern, loss, reflection, and then return to image, continued. When Camille returned to the Real Housewives of Beverly Hills for later seasons, many hoped for her redemption. Instead, the same conflicts resurfaced. Castmates accused her of duplicity and stirring drama. Viewers saw glimpses of the same pride and defensiveness that had once alienated them. By the early 2020s, Camille was no longer the glamorous centerpiece of Beverly Hills. She was a legacy name, respected but no longer relevant. Her story feels almost poetic. Camille Grammer wasn't destroyed by scandal or enemies, but by her own inability to evolve. In chasing perfection, she lost authenticity. Yet beneath the layers of control and vanity lies a woman who, through loss and survival, finally glimpsed the truth. Honesty is far more powerful than image.